It's opening day of baseball season, but it is the second episode of the show. For those of you that have not been here before, this is a weekly vodcast that myself, GingerMayne, and Blacktooth are going to do every Thursday right here on my Twitch channel at 8 o'clock Central Time, and then we'll get up onto YouTube the next day. What we're going to do is this is going to be about baseball. It's going to be about the show. It's going to be about the things that are going on inside of the community, and then just whatever other sort of shenanigans that happen over the course of the night. My name's PleatedPants. I play sports on the internet and am loving this game. My two co-hosts I'll let introduce themselves. First, GingerMayne.
Good evening. Thanks for having us. Looking forward to tonight's show. I play a lot of baseball and a little bit of golf, but pretty much baseball is about right about now. So go Rangers.
And Blacktooth.
No, I'm Blacktooth. My name's Mike. I play sports games on the internet as well. Been grinding on the baseball now since early release on Thursday, midnight Friday. My Reds are up 3-0 in the third right now on the Braves. And the fact that they're not playing their opening game in Cincinnati is very disheartening to me.
So I didn't know about this until we were talking in Discord earlier today. The Reds, because the sake that they are the oldest team in the league, as usually plays their opening day games at home, and they're usually one of the first.
Usually, back years ago, no one else played the Reds played the first game on opening day in Cincinnati every year, and then it kind of got a little convoluted where, well, anybody can open up the season. You know, some teams would play the night before, and then the Reds would play the next day in Cincinnati. But I think this has to be the first year in my life that they haven't played their opening day game at home.
Yeah, man, I didn't know that at all.
I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, nowadays, you know, it doesn't really hold that much weight that they were the first professional baseball team, because, you know, we're 1865. I mean, we're more than 100 years removed at this point. So, you know, it's not that big a deal, but, you know, I guess I'm a little bit of a purist and maybe a little bit sore. So I'm just like, what the hell's going on here?
So, you know, like, I was thinking about what we could do to kind of lead off the show, and I'll tell you what, like, is this not the best week of sports in the history of sports ever? We had, well, WrestleMania, which some people would consider a sport. We had the NCAA Final Four. We have the Masters. We have opening day of baseball, like, all in this 1 week. Can you think of any other time where we've been treated to this much awesome sports in like a 7-day period?
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's usually annually that you're going to have opening day and the Masters fall in, and I guess WrestleMania and March Madness, they all kind of hit around the same time, but to have them all in within a 5-6 day period, it's pretty sweet. I would say maybe back in the day, the Olympics coinciding with some sporting event could, but the Olympics nowadays are kind of a joke. So,
GingerMayne, did you get to watch any of the Masters today?
I had it up a little bit throughout the day. Work kind of got in the way, but I plan on going back through and watching a lot of highlights.
Course looked like it was playing pretty hard. You know, for the leader to only be 4 under, and, you know, a bunch of people kind of just right there in contention. But, you know, like, I think Blackfire said this earlier, like, Augusta always plays hard the first day. They don't want people going out and shooting 10 under.
Right. They don't like having a huge leader. It seems like in the first day either. The way the course is set up is that it's going to be really tough to score. And people have to make long putts if they're going to be scoring a lot on the first day. It's pretty tough to attack their pins. But, you know, I did see one time where Tiger was in a little bit of trouble. Looked like he hit a good shot and kind of reacted like all of us might, and just it runs up to the false front and then runs all the way back, and he drops a little bit of an F-bomb action on it, and gets caught on video and audio. But it was something like that kind of makes you like him a little bit in a weird way.
Number
so
9.
Cool.
I think that we've all hit it short on that front pin position in virtual golf and have had it spin off the green. Heck, some of us have probably spun it off the green from the second or third shelf, and really just get one sucked back hard and just keep going. And you're like, stop.
God forbid some male human being would drop an F-bomb on a golf course.
Right. Yeah.
I'm good.
It's not the first thing you think of.
Yeah,
it's not the first thing you think of with professional golfers. You don't expect a ton of F-bombs. I mean, you might if you're a regular golfer, but it's at least they try to have this, this very nice gentlemanly.
They do have a bit of
image.
decorum.
Yeah, and so whenever you see somebody like that, acting like or sounding like a dude in your Saturday day game group or something like that, it's
he said
fun.
F off Tiger, or
yeah, he said F off. He was talking I think he was just talking to the course basically, like because he had such a good shot, and it was ruined. But yeah.
Well, is there any?
You gotta love it.
Is there any relevant opening day baseball news? My guy Bobby Witt got his first hit. He got his first RBI. He got his first run. He got his first game-winning RBI. And so everyone right now that is in the that has the penchant to wear colors like this is really, really excited for everything that he can bring to our team. And he's been rewarded with a boosted card for the next 48 hours where he is a 90 overall. There hasn't been a ton of baseball that's been played between when the first pitch went off and now. But is there any sort of relevant opening day baseball information that you've seen that you want to talk about?
I was pretty busy at work today. I missed out on a lot of sports today. I didn't get to watch much of the Masters at all. Maybe a hole. That's about it. And now, like I said, my Reds are playing tonight. So now's about the time when I'm just starting to dive into the sports of the day.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I noticed was, call it drama, was Acuna went live on Instagram and just made it kind of sound like it was the greatest relationship between Freeman and the bunch there. And so that was kind of a weird thing to see, but other than that, it's been a pretty fun off season leading up to right now.
So I can give a little bit of context to that. I was hanging out in Latin Vaz's stream earlier today, and he's Puerto Rican, he's multilingual, and was a part of the Braves organization even for a little while. And he said that he listened to the entire interview in Spanish. And it wasn't that, he doesn't like Freddie Freeman and that there was no redeeming qualities with him. It was just more like they weren't buddies, like not every locker room, everyone's like all chummy. Like there was probably a language barrier. There might've been a culture barrier, so what Latin Vaz said is that, he believes that, the Spanish speakers probably were hanging out with each other. And, also he knows a little bit of inside baseball inside of that locker room. When Acuna came up, he was really young when he got called up, like 19 years old, and he'd probably never been told what to do at all. But I guess there's a story where the guys didn't like the eye black, how he wore the eye black, and they took him and put him aside, and Freddie Freeman was one of them, took a wipe and wiped off his eye black. So we've been talking about sort of like the old school versus new school sort of baseball things. Blackjack loves to bemoan every time that I complain about the white jerseys, and his reasoning is solid. He's saying look, those are the same crap that the unwritten rules of baseball is, and those unwritten rules are what are hard to make new younger players want to play the game and watch the game. There's a whole bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds that watch baseball. look at who's around. And so like I could see where Acuna would be like, like, come on, man. Like, like,
up.
and so,
Yeah.
they just weren't buddies.
I think
makes
that's fair
sense.
enough. Yep.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of crazy news just compared to what we had been seeing after the CBA and everything was taken care of, just because it was a lot more madness with trades and signings. And so,
It was
might be a little bit of a media
mad
spin
dash there at the beginning.
Yeah, it was. But no, I'm excited about tomorrow. My Rangers don't play tonight. I was kind of bummed out about that, but they've got a weird Canadian time. Not that Canada's weird, but I'm just not used to watching my Rangers play at 6:00 opening day. So
Yeah.
I'll have to just listen to it on the radio.
Well, and
To it.
the Reds play 4 in Atlanta. Their opening day home game isn't until Tuesday.
Oh wow.
Well, welcome to what the rest of the league has to deal with, Blackjack. Blacktooth. Man.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it. So, like, let's jump into the video game version of baseball. MLB 22. We've been playing it for 7 days, almost. Give me your first impressions. What are you enjoying about the game the most? Start with GingerMayne.
So far, I think the way the game just feels, like how crisp it is, you would kind of see in old game, especially crossplay, especially whenever you're playing cross-gen, there's a choppiness. Like if you're the pitcher and you're throwing to the opponent, you'd see the ball kind of come in a little slow and it'd kind of be like skippity, kind of move in. The ball would kind of hop a little bit. Now, whenever you've got a pretty good connection, a decent connection, it's very crisp. The menus feel great. So like from the way the game feels, I love that. As far as, the way the cards are playing, I think was something that I was kind of worried about. Like I'm hoping that my favorite cards will still be ones that I'm like good with or I like, and it won't be like trying to figure everything out all over again. But so far, there's not a whole lot that feels too different, and so I've liked that. But all the content so far, the moments have been, maybe it's just because I didn't have to do moments for a while, and now I'm starting over. The moments are a little bit more enjoyable. They're not as, they are kind of grindy, but it's not a pain in the, what, to get them done. I'm having fun with them. But other than that, I think online play has been good despite, some of the hiccups. But I think that's probably my big takeaway is just the way the game feels.
What's your first initial impression, Blacktooth? And chat, let me know what you also think is your most. And Corey, yeah, there will be more baseball after this. Go and take it away, Blacktooth.
I mean, I don't really have too many complaints, and most of my complaints are just kind of nitpicky. But it seems like they just ported last year's game over, which of course they do. They just change the rosters around and stuff like that. I get that. I do like the new card art. I think the new card art's really cool. I do like the fact that I'm an offline grinder for the most part, so the fact that they sped up the simulations in the conquest mode is fantastic. Doing the Nation of Baseball conquest doesn't seem as much of a slog as it did last year. I've got all the territories taken over. I just have to do all the strongholds now. I just got to play all the games and win all the strongholds, and I'll have that done. I want to like the seasons in the offline, but they just seem like they're broken. I don't know what they got to do to fix it. There's still freeze offs. I've seen some freeze offs. There's like some bugs like me and you were talking about earlier, Pleated. You'll hit a pop up to the shortstop and he'll go at the wall. He makes the catch. Wow. Like, really? Like, come on, man. I mean, that's elementary stuff. You can't be saying he's at the wall when he's the shortstop catching it on the dirt. So there's things they got to fix. I think the defense is a little bit OP, maybe just a hair, because there's a lot of really good hits, perfects in the gap that those outfielders are chasing down and making diving catches and catches at the wall. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I hit that ball pretty damn good. So I don't know. I'm sure they're going to do some little tweaks here and there. It's the first 7 days, so we'll see what happens.
Just going into the next sort of topic, and I'd like to hear what everyone thinks in chat also is, what's your favorite card so far?
Thinking about this earlier, you know, the Simeon card. I mean, as a Rangers homer, I've been hitting really well with him, but the Kyle Tucker card, the live series card, offline, I was doing Conquest on All Star and played like 4 games in a row, and he was batting 1,000 for 4 games. Like I just couldn't miss with him. I'm not batting 1,000 with him anymore. I just caught a heater, but his swing is money. There's something with his timing. I think kind of like Trey Turner's last year, where the timing window is a little bigger, so it allows for a little bit easier of hitting. And so I still mash with him as far as from a live series perspective. Yeah, not that I don't like him, but there's nothing that's really like I'm super like pumped about as far as the other content, like the Legends or anything like that. I mean, I like the Utley card, but I've only used it in BR. But right now, the Kyle Tucker is kind of standing out for me from a live series perspective.
Blacktooth?
I am mashing with the live series Mookie Betts right now. I don't know what it is about his swing, or maybe it's his. I'll look at his card, his vision. Maybe it's his vision. I just feel like I see the ball better with him, and I'm mashing with him. Doing really well with Mookie. But I've also been doing the grind for the Legends and Flashbacks in the Face of the Franchise thing. So I've been switching players in and out. I've been using the Alan Trammell card, which actually he's been hitting pretty good too, but I took him out. I got Jimmy Rollins in there now. I've only used him for a couple games. Ricky Henderson, I took the Ricky Henderson anime card. I love Ricky Henderson, always have, so I took that card. I'm doing pretty well with him. And then I got one other card that I think is a cheat code, but I'll throw that over to you, Pleat, because I think that's going to be the one you're going to talk about.
The only card that I can hit with in the game is Salvador Perez
Dude, he's
and
a
Frank
monster.
Thomas. And like Frank
Salvy's
Thomas
a cheat
is
code.
Frank Thomas is a freaking 99. Salvy's an 85. There's something about Salvy's swing that just really works with me. Like I often think that sometimes it's about like you actually like the player and you play better with him, but like it's just like there's no doubt Salvy just always is hitting tanks for me. Let's see what some other people said here. Lenny Fish gave the homer answer and said George Brett and Salvy. Flinny
Jake
MVP
Lamb.
Pujols. That MVP Pujols was a really fun first chase card to give to us. Like I see a lot of people playing with it, and I see a lot of people liking it. Easy Does It likes Vlad Sr. Easy Does It. Did you like Vlad Sr. last year? Because I liked that card too. Mike. Shohei Ohtani, I have pitched 1 game with him, and he, remember last year's Shohei pitcher card that came out in the All-Star game? It was, you had to kind of learn how to pitch with it because the cutter was more like felt more like a changeup that moved to the opposite direction that it should. I haven't figured him out how to pitch with him. So the 1 game that I've played with him in ranked seasons, he got shelled like really, really bad. And so he's a TBD for me. Nick Z says Tyler O'Neill's card. Have you guys played with Tyler O'Neill?
No, I have not.
I did once in one of the Conquest games that I was playing, but I liked his Lightning card last year, and the swing felt pretty similar. I didn't notice anything different, but I liked it a lot.
And so Blastomatic says cover Howard and face of the franchise Lindor. Like I haven't seen like that whole pack, that what you get in that face of the franchise. You can almost not get a wrong one, other than in my mind JT Realmuto, who I obviously got. I've heard a lot of people liking that Lindor card.
Well, JT Realmuto won't get to play because of Salvi, so
Yeah, exactly. I don't need him. You know,
I I just pulled the Lindor and I pulled the Kloss, so I'm looking forward to using the Kloss. I like the Brandon Webb card right now. I just like the rhythm in his pitch, the pinpoint, his rhythm. It feels really good. But going back to what you said about some players that you like, sometimes that's a double-edged sword too. Because I love Ken Griffey Jr. and I'm so aggressive with him that
Hmm.
I mean, I'm
You showing
doing okay.
Nash.
He's got like 10 home runs, so I'm doing all right. But there's some times when I'm swinging at everything because I'm expecting him to just go yard every time. So
All right. So, the last thing that I want to talk about when we're talking about MLB is I want to talk about hitting, and mostly because this is a therapy session for me. As a therapy session. I am hitting extremely bad compared to where I was hitting last year, and it has me kind of in a crisis of confidence. I know Ginger played a lot of the game last year after they made the change for the PCI to be able to move more in and out of the zone. And I also know that Blacktooth says that he's been having some luck with anchoring. So I want to pick both of your brains, because I bet you I'm not the only one that's out there right now saying, what is going on? I'm hearing some people saying that hitting's easier, and I'm sitting here striking out way too damn much. So let's start with Blacktooth. Blacktooth, tell me what you've been doing and what has been working for you so far.
okay, and it was like kind of last night. As a matter of fact, I had a little bit of an epiphany on it. So yeah, I've been anchoring. I've been trying. It's like I'm gonna try it out and see what it does. Because all last year, I would pull my PCI down to the bottom of the, not all the way to the bottom, but kind of holding it tense in that lower third of the strike zone. And then that way, if it was low, I could get down to it because it seemed like I hit a lot of bombs on low pitches. And the pitchers in this game, whether they be CPU or online players, there's a lot of low pitches. The sinkers were OP last year, so there was a lot of low pitches. So in my estimation, it was better to start low, and then if you needed to climb the ladder, you could always try to climb the ladder if you need to. So I've been working with anchoring. That way I don't have to keep my thumb tensed up on the stick and holding it low, and I've been just kind of hovering, just barely touching my thumb on the stick and then reacting. So I would like to do some more micro movements, but I'm not really in that spot yet. My movements are still quick reaction, jumping out of my skin, trying to hit the ball and catch it, like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm anchoring low. I'm hovering a little, like I'm not hovering, but I barely am touching the stick. And I'm getting it in that position where I feel good that I can get up if I have to, or I can go low if I have to. And then I'm trying to make sure I move the stick before I press the button, because sometimes you'll get in that groove, you'll get in that mode where as soon as you move the stick, you press the button. So you don't give the PCI time to get where you want it to go before you hit the button. So last night instead of holding my thumb on the stick, because a lot of times what I'll do is I get ahead of myself and I'm saying, okay, he's going to throw it low. So I'm already ready to pull the stick down, and I pull the stick down and it's a fastball high up out of the zone. So it's not even close. So now I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm just anchoring it, leaving my thumb off the stick, waiting to see if he's high or low, and then reacting. So kind of like your read react swing. And I was thinking, if you want to try the anchoring pleat, I would try, if he's a righty, you're going to be in that upper corner. If he's a lefty, you're going to be in this upper corner. Anchor it, and then just kind of hover and wait to see where he's going, and then react to it.
One other question: control freak or no?
No. Mm-mm.
Ginger, please, therapy session still in. I need help. I need guidance.
Yeah, I think hitting is still very similar to last year. I think that there's a couple of things that aesthetically are throwing me off, and I think people off in general. I think that one, when we're talking about the update that happened last year, I think that a lot of folks were probably on their way out of the game, or if they came, if they were playing after that update, like that might have been the tipping point, and they left. But with the strike zone, what they did was there was a glitch in the game where if you waited a little bit, and you threw a sinker on the bottom corners, you could dot it every single time, like without like 100% of the time. And so if you remember correctly, you couldn't get the PCI to completely center up the corner. It was barely covering the corner without any sort of timing with a swing, but just stock whenever you're sitting in the box. Well, the way they addressed that fix was to try and work on the fact that people could throw it on the corner every single time by doing that glitch. But the other way is they extended the reach of the PCI. And what that did was that made the sensitivity in a way go feel like it's like a lot crazier. And so if you're like a lot of us, you're a PCI jammer, and so you see the ball go to the right side of the zone, you're jamming your stick over there because not everybody has the crazy like slow but quick moving stick skills to just gently move it over. That's kind of what we do, but the way the game is now, it feels like you're kind of getting under the ball even though you're not quite dropping your PCI. And so I think that's what's happening with a lot of folks, and happening to me because I wasn't using my ring, the Control Freak ring. And that's the little foam ring that goes around the controller. But I think on top of that, when I say like the way it looks, I think there's some camera views that make you look like you're popping the ball up really high. The way the camera comes up under the ball, and really it's not a super bad, contact or hit once you kind of see it, but it kind of feels like you get gypped almost. Like why was that a shallow pop up when really it was kind of like a little deeper than that? I noticed that a little bit last night when I was really thinking about it and trying to look at where some of my misses were. So I think camera angles, and I think too a couple of swing animations on early pitches, on early timing rather. Whenever it's a little bit outside the zone, I think a lot more were like traveling further. I think they nerfed just a little bit out, like a smidge outside in early contact or early timing, even if you center it up. So I think that's what a lot of people are seeing whenever they go and play, especially if it's on All-Star and then Hall of Fame and Legend. You're seeing a lot of that too. But I think that hitting might take a little bit. If you have the ring, it took me, I think I remember like a couple of weeks to get used to that and break it in to where it felt kind of normal. But last night was the first night that I busted out the ring in competitive play in BR, and the hitting felt better for me. To Blacktooth's point with, setting the PCI using the anchor, I started using that a little bit more, and I just sit inside and I adjust. Because if you're getting a righty on righty, which is the majority of what you see, that's the hardest pitch to turn on, is that righty on righty fastball or sinker. And so sitting up inside allowed me to really turn on the ball a lot more. And so I went 5-1, 6-1, or something like that in BR and called it a night. I walked away kind of feeling confident. So we'll see what happens. But my takeaway is I think hitting's okay. I think there's some minor tweaks that need to be done. But I think for the most part, it's going to take some adjusting. I wouldn't don't get in the feelings of down and out just yet. Give it another week or two and see kind of how you adjust.
So I think I agree with something that Blastomatic just said. He said that he's seeing more base hits than home runs. Last year, it felt like that it was a real feast or famine year. I thought maybe that was just me that was happening too, because either I square it up and I look like I am Mark McGuire, or like I miss it and I look like I'm Adam Dunn. I thought I was the feast or famine player, but I think that other people are seeing the same thing too, that centering up the PCI in certain areas are leading to a lot more sort of like hotline drives through the gaps, to the gaps, and through the holes in the infield. Are you seeing that you're getting more variety of hits this year?
Yeah, I think
so.
I think what maybe they tried to do too is I think there was a lot of complaints last year about home runs off PCI. So maybe they tried to tighten that up a little bit. So in return, you're going to get more base hits on PCI or off
Yeah.
PCI too. So you're going to see more base hits than home runs, which is fine because you know um, Hank Aaron had 715 home runs. Pete Rose had 4,256 hits. So obviously, there's more hits than home runs out there. So
Yeah.
you should get more hits than home runs, but it is a simulation too. So it's a video game. But
So this is
I
one
think they
other
tried to
thing.
tweak that. So
There's one other thing that I have been thinking about. And I think that I've mentioned this in some Discord chat somewhere. So a couple of you in chat and in here might have already heard this. But you remember that first gameplay video that they really they got kind of razzed for the community because they talked 30 minutes about their justification of how the swings work, and they talked a lot about inside pitches and outside pitches and having to be early on the inside pitches and having to be late on the outside pitches. I think I'm seeing that tuned more this year than I did last year, because I'm feeling that some of my good hits that I've had have been when I've taken that low and outside pitch that a lot of people are liking to throw and taking it to the opposite field. And likewise, that I feel like to be able to turn on that inside fastball, like you almost have to be just sitting there and waiting for it and ambush it. There's no sort of like adjusting inside and not just blasting it foul or blast and just not and hitting it bad, like. So are you seeing anything like that there is more of sort of the inside outside taking the pitch where hitting it where it is been pitched?
yeah,
I
I feel like I have. I've because it seems like too another thing I said with the defense. The defense is playing shifts a lot more this year. It seems like too, or maybe I just didn't notice last year. But I've been burning the shift a lot already. I'm like, oh man, I went opposite field. That's way down in the corner. There's nobody near, and I've been getting triples. If you got a fast enough player, I'm getting triples off of those. So yeah, I think I've seen some of that.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen it just yet. I mean, I've played, mostly. I haven't played one ranked game yet. I plan on diving into that this weekend. But from seeing BR and offline play, I haven't seen what looks to be a whole lot of different with things with the timing. Because one thing that again, latter part of the year last year, the community was complaining about, early inside is a foul ball every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't, even perfects were foul on the inside part of the plate. Not every time, but a lot of times. And so I'm seeing that now still too a little bit. But to the same token, I think that, I do think that there is something that they've done with the defense, not the defense, where the feeling with where the defense feels OP. I think what they've done is there's something with the way the ball flies. I heard somebody say this in a chat before, like they did something with the ball flight that allows the folks to get to it a little bit, and that just popped into my mind. But at the same thing, going back to the late hit, early hit, one thing I have noticed is you're getting penalized a lot more for early outside. For you're popping the ball up, the ball staying in play a lot more. I'm still getting a lot of foul balls, but I think that was one of the ways they're trying to combat foul balls is you're seeing a lot of outside early. If you're under the PCI a little bit, it's staying in play and it's an out. That's one big thing. Another thing too, last thing I'll say, I don't want to go on too long, is if you're going up against a hitter, and this was happening last year, but I think maybe just an epiphany this year. If you're going up against a hitter that's having a hard time hitting the heat, throwing it inside to them is like giving them a guaranteed very late bloop to right field. Like, just don't do it. If you want to stay away from the bloops all day long, keep the heat in a different spot to where they don't piece it up off the handle into right field. If they have no power, no contacting like that, you probably get away with it. But that is one thing I've noticed this year that may not have happened as much. I don't know that I just didn't notice last year. Maybe I did, but I just didn't realize it. So a couple of the takeaways I had.
Well, like let's move on to something else, which is going to be something that I'm going to have at the top of the show from now on. But I just thought about it when Blacktooth brought up that fancy looking beer glass and drank something. This will be a segment of the show of what are you drinking? Now, like oftentimes I'm the enigma here because I could be drinking anything. I could be drinking a seltzer. I could be drinking a Coors Light. I could be drinking some weird, random, fancy IPA. So
Yes.
today, you know that it's baseball season because baseball season is Coors Light season. So I'm having a little bit of Coors Light, and today, putting the traditional pink Himalayan salt in it.
I respect that.
I am drinking a Stone Enjoy by 420 IPA.
Oh, like those stones, how easy are those to find now? Because I used to always pick them up in Kansas.
Yeah, they're pretty easy. I mean, it was funny. I went outside on Sunday and I was getting in my truck and my neighbor was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to go down to the store and look for some beer." He said, "They close at 6. You better hurry." And it was like 5:45, and I got to the liquor store in 10 minutes and bought a 6-pack of Stone. So yeah, they had plenty. They had plenty. And
How
this
is
is my 13 Stripes glass. 13 Stripes is a brewery in Taylor, South Carolina.
And Ginger, I already know what you're drinking because we saw it, but go ahead and show everyone the glory that is the White Claw. That is GingerMayne on brand.
Pretty much. It's what I like to drink.
So that means sponsors, if you're watching, Coors Light, please reach out to Pleated, Stone, give me a call anytime, and White Claw, call Ginger sometime tomorrow afternoon.
So let's pivot. Still baseball, but we're going to be starting up the Bespoke Premier League, and that's going to start up hopefully tomorrow. We'll get all of the invites out. I got out a handful of invites in the top 3 divisions today. I had a little bit of an issue. I'm skipping around between Xbox and PlayStation, and one thing that the cross-platform of this game does that doesn't like it is I can't see my friends list sometimes. So now I can't see my friends list on the Xbox, so I have to type in everyone's name, the old-fashioned way. Hence why I was asking people to give me their names in Discord today. But I don't want to talk as much about that, but I want to talk about just kind of what we're looking at, what the schedule looks like, how things are going to happen over the course of the next few weeks. So we're going to end up having 4 different divisions. We're full now. We're full now. We got another 8 people that wanted to be in.
Awesome.
C-Note has said that he will commish it, and I'm gonna have to work with C-Note to set up the league because I found a limit in the custom leagues. I can only be in 3 custom leagues at once. So the fact that I'm now set up the first 3, I cannot set up a 4th. And so here's what's going to happen for people that don't know. This is going to be a sort of modeled after the British Premier League, hence why we're calling it the Bespoke Baseball Premier League. And that is that we're going to have multiple seasons throughout the year. And at the conclusion of each of those seasons, we're going to promote 2 teams up a division, and we're going to relegate 2 teams down a division. And so I think it will keep things fun. It will keep things fresh. It will give you an incentive to not be in those bottom 2. So maybe some of those last couple matches might be actually kind of intense. But we're full now. We're now full for a full 4. So we're going to have 32 teams kicking this thing off. And we're going to kick it off as soon as we can get everyone to accept the invites. inside of the game does not let you start until you hit team number that you said that you would have in the league. So everyone has to get in, and then the commissioner can turn it on. So roughly we're going to try to get all of those out tonight and tomorrow so that the leagues can start sometime tomorrow. And then what's going to happen is you got 7 weeks, to play your 21 games. You play 3 games against each of the other people in your division, and there's no schedule. You arrange time and you play it. If you want to kick off all 21 games on Saturday and everyone wants to play in them, you can do it. So it's not like that you have to play team 1 plays team 2 for 3 days and then we advance. It's just one big long 7-week period where you play your 21 games, and then when everyone's done with it, we advance to a playoffs. So what we'll be doing is we'll probably be doing weekly badgering for people to play their matches inside of a Discord, and probably in a segment of this show every week. But roughly you'll be on track if you play 3 games a week. And remember, they're 6-inning games, so they shouldn't take a ton of time. If we find out that we think that that's too much, we can drop it down to 5 for the next season. I'm really looking for this first season as a what it works and what doesn't, because this was a collaborative design by the entirety of the Bespoke League Discord. Kind of all came about when Mike Ate Your KFC and I started, taking over a other channel in the Discord talking about what we're going to do for baseball.
I love it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, now that it's 32 teams too, I mean, we could take the top 2 from each division and do a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Do a 2-round, 3-round tournament. You'd have your Elite 8, your Final 4, and your championship game. That'd be sweet. I did want to bring something up, and we could save this for season 2 and just get going first. But I was thinking about, like, okay, in most sports, like if it's basketball, you could just keep giving the ball to LeBron James. I get it. If it's football, you could keep throwing the ball to Jamar Chase, whatever. But in baseball, you have to depend on your other players, because even your best player only gets to bat once every 9 times. What do you think about one diamond on the bench that can pinch hit once a game for your pitcher or whoever, but then you have to take him back out? He can't stay in the game, but one diamond on the bench as a pinch hitter.
I don't want to do that for this first season.
Right,
The
and I
reason
get
is that I don't want to have to, I like my God Squad is pretty damn good right now. Like, and I
Cheater.
didn't want to have to make rules about, diamond up until this. We'll get enough of that in ranked and in BR. Like, I look at this as being sort of casual, playing with the golds that we don't normally get to play with, and just seeing how we can do against each other. Now, will there be a season where we might add some diamonds into the mix? Sure. Like, we'll see how everything progresses. But like what that just sounds like is way too much policing for me. And as a seasoned veteran of running things like this, the most we can minimize the policing, the better.
And that's fair. And I get that. And like you said, it will be better because once people get, not everybody did early access. So a lot of people have only had the game for 2 or 3 days. And there's going to be plenty of cards coming. I mean, people have to finish their collections. So I get it. But I just wanted to bring it up. I think one diamond on the bench that can pinch hit for your pitcher once a game, I don't see a problem with it. But we'll talk about that down the road.
Yep.
Pumped.
Like Lenny Fish, you just almost got timed out.
That sounds about normal.
He asked how trades were approved.
Still
Read
gold, plenty.
read the rule book.
Trades are approved by you put your player on the marketplace. Tell me where it is and how cheap it is, and I'll try to buy it before some other schlub does. That's how trades work.
Does a gold parallel to a diamond count as a gold or a diamond? If it's a gold, it's a gold. What we're gonna have to figure out is how much these juiced cards are, because that could completely looks like they're juicing anyone up to a 90. I don't think it wouldn't be fair to have Bobby Witt on your team. One of the things that I have to figure out, and we'll figure out in the first week, is if the team that you initially set is the team that you're stuck with, or if you're able to change over the course of these 7 weeks. I think the answer to that question is going to answer a lot of the go forward issues that we're going to have. But let's like a lot of these things, I think they're good questions that we've had. They're sort of on this big long parking lot in my head of things that we're going to have to adjudicate as we know a little bit more about how this particular custom league feature in the game works.
Yeah, I think the first season is going to be a big trial run that just, we'll be testing it out and just have a little bit of grace and be flexible on how things are moving, and then be willing to kind of operate as the head commish here. PleatedPants kind of leads us through it, but I'm excited. I think season 1 will still be fun. I think we'll probably make tweaks along the way, but as it is right now, the only thing that I'm going to say is that if you're playing with me, we're not playing in a pro park unless it's Coors Field. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Pleat sealing.
So one of the things that I don't know if I explained well enough here that we've talked about on the Discord a little bit is this season is live series cards only, no diamonds, gold or worse, and no Mickey Janice, no knuckleballers, no caps.
My cap is already a diamond, so I can't.
And if there's any other questions, just let us know. We'll be happy to answer them. This is all about having fun, and I think that it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, and like Mad Moose said, I'd love a set team, to be honest, and I can agree with that. But I think a lot of people are still getting their collections done. I'm trying to think of like a player that I don't have that I'm still trying to work on getting for just to play the game that I might want to add. Like Joey Votto. Like if I don't have Joey Votto and during the season I pack him and I want to make him my first baseman and he's a gold, I don't see a problem with it. I don't know. We'll talk. That's something we'll just have to talk about.
Yep.
You already have Joey Votto. Let's be real. Right?
I do.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody!
I bought him day one. He was like 1,700 stubs. Whatever. I probably overpaid.
I think the most expensive gold right now is Yordan Alvarez.
I need that Joe Morgan.
So, I think that's all that I have on the agenda for tonight. Blacktooth, Ginger, is there anything that you want to bring up and talk about?
I have one question.
Okay.
Real quick. Funniest thing you've seen so far on the show?
It has not happened to me, but I saw a TikTok of someone hitting a no doubt home run to left field. All right, it's going, gone. It's no doubter that it's gone. It hits in sort of like the bullpen area and starts rolling, and then Mike Trout is running into the wall. And then all of a sudden he disappears, and then the ball comes throwing out from the over the wall, and I don't know what ended up happening other than the fact that it obviously did not end up being a home run, but just seeing Trout glitched trying to run through the wall was fun.
Yeah, Trout's a glitch, man. We knew that.
True, he is a glitch.
Like I said, I haven't seen anything too crazy other than the fact, like I said, you'll hit a can of corn straight up the chute to the second baseman, and they'll say he makes the catch at the wall. Like, what? How short are these porches out here? Right? What's going on here?
Yeah, I've seen two things. One happened to me, and one happened to one of my really good IRL buddies. I hit what looked to be a really well struck ball in the gap. And no, Pleated, it was not a virus. But with Ken Griffey Jr., it's going in the gap. It's not the home run height, but it looks like it's going to run to the wall. And all of a sudden, like the ball just takes a hard left, like an old like kung fu movie where the people are like flying through the air with their legs stuck out, or like just kind of like, I don't know, kind of like it looks like they're on a line. Well, the ball just zips over to the center fielder. Weirdest thing, we're playing, that was during a co-op game, and my buddies and I were like, didn't even know how to respond. We were just like, what the hell happened? The other one I have, my buddy hit a chopper to third base, and his guy ran to third base, his batter, and was tagged out. And those were the funniest things that I've seen so far.
Instead of running the first base, he ran to third base out of the batter's box?
Exactly. Here, I'm gonna Pleated. I'm not gonna put it in your chat, but I'm gonna put it in your Discord somewhere.
All right.
Wow, yeah, I want to see that.
The funniest thing that happened to me is that my first baseman grabs the baseball seriously about this far away from the base and would not run to the base, made the pitcher run to first base, and he tossed the ball to him. Like, that felt like the most like Lost Ark that I've ever been in a baseball game, where you get that mission that says, hey, can you go over here to this person like 2 stalls down and tell them that I'm looking for something? Like, that one was pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
Here, let's see what Mike has. Here's the deal. I don't have this other scene working, so it will probably not be this scene might not look all that great. Let's see. Nope, you just can't see them. But let's see what this is.
What the? What?
And he's safe.
Where's he going?
Oh,
Where'd he go?
Oh, I love that, dude.
oh my God, that was awesome.
That's hilarious.
That was insane.
In the Discord MLB The Show channel, Pleated's Discord, I put that TikTok in there. If anybody wants to go check it out.
I'll look at it here in a little bit.
So
that's hilarious.
that's
well,
pretty good.
You know, this was fun. We got another week under the gun. Is there any last words, round robin style, that y'all want to say to the community?
Well, I was going to ask, and you guys can put it in the chat, but out of the first set of City Connect unis that they put out, which one's your favorite?
Ooh. So those were all last year's jerseys. I think I like Boston's the most.
My least favorite one.
No, the least favorite one has to be the Giants. They took the least amount of risk.
Yeah, the Giants one is pretty. I'm telling you what, man. I kind of like that Diamondbacks, the Serpientes. I think it's pretty cool, man. I like it.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's call me crazy.
I like the Boston one too.
The Boston
one.
I like the White Sox jersey. I think that the hat is uninspired. They basically, instead of SOX being written in that font, they made it SH or CHI. And, you know, they could have done more with that. But the south side on the jersey and how it's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of like
slick.
a cool gray is like really, really good. I don't know if any of them are going to beat the Nationals one that just got released, though. The Nationals one looks so good.
I'll have to take a look at that. Yeah. Oh, we got packs coming out tomorrow, more content, so that'll be fun to stay tuned for that.
Ooh, what do we know what it is?
New packs are going to be coming out. So we already have the base round, but the big round, the Big Daddies, will be released tomorrow. So I think there's going to be the new showdowns coming out with Corbin Burns. Looks like he's going to be the boss.
Yeah, I saw that tweet today.
Yeah, so there's some more stuff that'll be coming out. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, man.
Well, cool. Well, this concludes another episode of the show. Episode number 2 is in the books. We'll be doing this every Thursday at around 8 p.m. Central Time. It'll be this same cast of characters, and you know, maybe we might get some special guests every once in a while too.
Love you, Pleat. Love you, Ginger. See you guys.
Sounds good. Love you guys.
All right, have a great one, guys.
See you, chat.
Bye, chat.